Howdy, folks. I would say welcome back, but I should tell myself that because it's been a minute, right? All right. Oh, how is everybody? I got some important stuff to talk to you about, so we got to roll with this. GLP-1 agonist. What the heck is that? You've all heard it. When I say it, you're going to go, oh, yeah, semaglutide, right? And the reason I want to talk to you about this is because they're all over the freaking internet, these ads, and they really chat my ass because, oh, well, this whole video is the reason because. So, first and foremost, I want to share with you, let me just back up. Listen, GLP-1 agonists in and of themselves are not evil and they're not villains, but the problem with GLP-1 agonist is this. In a nutshell, what these substances, and really they're peptides, short chain amino acids. And the definition of a short chain amino acid is very simple. It's 40 amino acids or less in a sequence bound together. That's all they are. And think of, if you really don't know what that means, think of a protein shake. After you work out, you drink your protein shake, right? Well, the protein is amino acids. 40 or more is a peptide, and more than 40 is a protein. So inherently very, very safe. The problem with GLP-1 agonist is as follows. And listen, people, your prescriber or your prescriber doesn't get paid to tell you that. As a matter of fact, they won't get paid if they tell you that. So they're not going to tell you everything that you're going to learn on this video. And I don't even know where to start because there's so much. But let me just give you an example. A friend of mine, she's been on semaglutide for, you know what? I don't even know how long. I know it's been 40 pounds. She lost 40 pounds on SG, and she looks like a weak and withered old bird. She looks terrible. She looks absolutely terrible. She feels great. According to her, she feels great. But here's the deal. I looked at her labs. She's in stage 1 kidney failure, but she feels great. That's the problem. Again, in and of themselves, GLP-1s are simply peptides. Nothing wrong with, I sell peptides. Nothing wrong. I take peptides. Nothing wrong with GLP-1 in and of themselves. The problem happens when, first off, how they differ, how a GLP-1 differs from, let's say, a BPC 157 that you're going to put in your shoulder because you have a torn rotator cuff. The difference is the GLP-1s have a fatty acid attached to them. What does that do? It extends the life in your body, so you don't have to take it as frequently, as opposed to BPC, where you have to take it daily, sometimes twice a day. It's very, very short acting. When you inject a GLP-1, i.e. semaglutide, tirzepatide, retatrutide, you only have to do it once a week. In that week, what's happening is it goes to work on appetite suppression and thirst suppression. That's the problem with the GLP-1s. You don't eat. So what happens when you don't have food? You don't have nutrition to your bones, to your brain, to your metabolic systems, to your mitochondria. Everything is suppressed, including your kidney function because you're dehydrated because it suppresses your thirst mechanism. So guys, I'm not saying don't take these things or inject these things. What I am saying is be smart about it. I know you don't want to eat, so you don't eat. You're not thirsty, so you don't drink. But then go get your labs drawn and look at your bun and your BUN and your creatinine and see if they're in the shitter. Of course they're going to be because your body has dehydrated, and that's the problem. You don't eat and drink over a period of time, and then you end up in stage 1 kidney failure, and then stage 2, and then stage 3. But hey, you're still losing weight. That's the problem. Your prescriber is not going to tell you this. They're going to hand you a piece of paper with small print at the bottom that says, these are the side effects. You might want to look at that. But you don't give a shit because you want to lose weight because you've tried everything. Well, you haven't tried everything or you would have lost weight. And here's why you haven't tried everything. Let me give you an example. So that's part one of the video. GLP-1 agonists are not villains in and of themselves, but they suppress your appetite, they suppress your thirst, and that opens a whole can of worms. And then you end up in the hospital with kidney issues and all sorts of other end organ problems. So you have to be really diligent and consistent and committed to your health. If you're not getting nutrients in, your brain's going to suffer, your body's going to suffer, your metabolic system's going to suffer, you're creating insulin resistance, regardless of what your A1C is. Listen, guys, if you don't have the proper nutrients to fuel your body, yeah, well, GLP-1s, what do? They cause you to not eat, so you lose weight. So you lose water weight and you lose fat. But what else do you lose? Precious protein, which is muscle. That's why my friend looks like a skinny, withered bird. And you suppress your immune system because your immune system is within that protein. And you're losing bone density because you're not eating. And the few of the food that you eat converts to bone, muscle, and blood tissue and your vascular access that fuels your entire body. It carries nutrients all over your body from your brain to your toes. Please, please, please be very, very careful with GLP-1s. I know you don't feel like eating. That's the idea, but you got to eat because you're going to create a whole nother set of problems if you're not eating. And this is what I was going to share with you. I'm going to make it quick, but I'm working with a lady. She's 46, perimenopausal, and she's got a big spare tire, but she's not really overweight. She's got a big spare tire. So she's perimenopausal. She still has an occasional period. She can't lose weight. And after about a 5 hour deep dive into her labs, you know what I found? And she wants peptides. First and foremost, I don't care if you do peptides. I think everybody should be on peptides. But when you're doing peptides and you're not hormonally optimized, I'm going to make this another video. This is going to be a great video, but I'm going to tell you really quick what they did to her. She goes to this practitioner. She can't lose weight. She's moody. She's lethargic. She's got a spare tire. She has no sex drive, and the list goes on. You know what they did? They gave her inserted into her hip, and I'm a fan because I have the same thing, 150 milligram testosterone pellet without running labs first. They had no idea how deficient she is, or maybe it was something else while she was having these symptoms. They had no idea. They inserted a 150 milligram pellet, didn't even look at labs. When you have a pellet, any type of hormonal replacement therapy, you need to be consistently monitored. It's almost like a blood pressure that changes with every freaking heartbeat. The hormones don't fluctuate that drastically, but you need to be monitored. She was not even monitored. She went back. They told her to come back. And then in a span of from the first pellet until the last pellet, that's 6 months, she got 425 milligrams of testosterone. And now she has a penis and a beard. Not even freaking kidding you. Don't be scared of testosterone. I have a 150 milligram pellet in my ass too. But the difference is I am monitored frequently and I don't have a period anymore. And I'm very, 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 very active. Everything. I burned through the testosterone. She, this poor lady had enough testosterone in her after 6 months for a herd of elephants. And she wants peptides. This is the problem. When you get a prescriber or a pellet mill, more specifically, that wants to just throw a pellet at you without drawing labs, without monitoring you, without knowing your specific case and concerns and physiology through lab work, they're gonna mess you up. They messed this poor lady up, and now she's got residual testosterone in her body that we've got to wait till she can process, assimilate, and get rid of before we can go to work. But listen, the different what's going on here is what she wanted to do is she's hormonally totaled. Peptides they're almost like magic. They really are. My uh I was told 2 years ago I needed rotator cuff repair. Look, I don't need rotator cuff repair now. I can do all this stuff because of peptides. If you if you're doing mitochondrial or peptides that affect your metabolism without being hormonally optimized, what you're doing is you're stomping on the gas pedal with your other foot on the brake. And you know what? You're going to get nowhere fast. You're wasting money, you're wasting time, and you're going to cause eventual adrenal fatigue and then failure. And then you're going to be in the bed for 6 months, whether you want to be or not, maybe longer. Don't do this stuff blindly. Don't trust everybody that you're giving $500 to. Guys, they get paid to sell you hormones and peptides, not paid to optimize you and make you feel amazing. And you can, but you have to have a little bit of knowledge or do your research, preferably both. I could talk about this forever. I just wanted to share this with you because I think it's so, so, so important. I've had this exact conversation 5 times in 4 days. And these poor women are coming to me and going, Cameron, I need some help. I'm fucked up. And it's not my fault. And it's not their fault. So before you take GLP1s, there's a lesson in that. There's also a lesson in peptides, and there's also a lesson in hormones. Everything works together synergistically, but you have to be really smart and really committed to knowing the person that's helping you. All right, that's all I got for you. I hope this was helpful. Talk to you later.